What is up, guys, and welcome back. And today we do have another, well, you guessed it, diecast review. This is of the Cat 24H motor grader. This is the largest motor grader in Cat's lineup, with a 24-foot mold board, which is pretty large, I must say. So yeah, this was requested by a good friend of mine, Anthony Lucibello. Check out his YouTube and his Instagram, all under the same name. So anyways, we're going to start here at the front. Up here you do have your counterweight, and it does have a drilled out lifting eye, as you can see. You also have two work lights on either side, both with silvered surfaces. Your steering is relatively good, I mean, and then you got some nice oscillation of the front wheels. They do go back in place, which is something that I've noticed. Like, it seems like there's a spring mechanism to it, but there isn't that I know of. Again, this is a model that's been on my radar for quite some time. Again, the turning is good. However, I'm not a fan of these front tires. They look very Lego-y, if you know what I mean. The hubs are plastic, but they got some nice bolt detail to them. And here you can see the number plate. This side does have this indent, or yeah, right here. This is where the hydraulic lines sort of tuck up in there, or that's where they tuck up in there. And as you can see, it comes out right here, and then you got your snake of lines going back. The mold board is currently raised in its highest position, which is pretty good, I have to say. It's pretty much as good as it's going to get. It does lower. These cylinders are very stiff, by the way. And it does lower, and it does raise the front wheels off the ground. The mold board assembly does go from side to side, obviously more so that side, as you can tell. And looking up here, you do have some pretty good details with that. The blade itself does slide from side to side, and we're going to put the mold board back in a carry position, and it does spin up. It does not spin a full 360, excuse me. That's your degree of motion on the mold board, and it does stick a little bit once you get to that position right there. Going to the cab, you do have opening doors, which is good. And at this point in time, I really did wish I would have brought a TWH pick. Oh, wait, never mind. I got it. The doors do open, and you do have a okay detailed cab. I mean, it's pretty plain. Color-wise, you just have a gray seat, gray console, and it looks like there's supposed to be levers. Like it has the little risers on the floor for the levers, but it doesn't have the actual levers in it, which is kind of curious. A nice big Caterpillar decal up here, and then you also have the windshield wiper and your work lights. You also have a beacon up top, which is a nice clear plastic beacon. And then you do have these plastic ladders right here. Going around to the back, or over here, this is where the engine is housed, obviously. And there is a degree of articulation. It could be better, but... And these wheels here also articulate, and they have a fairly nice degree. Again, they're pretty much the same as the front wheels. Again, kind of Lego-y, in my opinion. You do have the Power Stripe logo, and and I do like the Power Stripe logo. This model does have a pretty good look to it. I've always, for some reason, liked the older series of graders better. You know, as you can see, your pivot point looks fairly complex, which is good. All the handrails and stuff on this are plastic, by the way. However, as opposed to the successor to this model, the 24M, this has a very high metal count, and I'm only basing that off of other reviews on YouTube of it. I personally do not have the 24M. On the back, you do have a 7-shank ripper with dual hydraulic cylinders. It does go down that far, but it doesn't quite touch the ground. And you do have hydraulic lines running to the cylinders themselves, which is good. On the back grille, you have Caterpillar and more lights. This side's relatively the same. However, you do have a white painted tank right there, which is a nice detail to have. And you can see the snake of hydraulic hoses running behind the number plate once again. This door does open as well, if I can get it, which I can. And once again, you can see where the control levers are supposed to be. Remember, the H series, they did not have the joystick controls compared to the M series, so it was more of an older style control pattern. Your exhaust and your air cleaner are up top, and it's very nice that these handrails up here are black. They look fairly nice. Now the plastic is done in a flat black, which is pretty good. Looking underneath, you can see the details there. It's not complicated, but it's not plain either. It's pretty well done, I have to say. It is a fairly well, actually the weight's pretty much what I'd expect it to be. And then we'll compare it to, well, the next biggest grader produced, which is the 18M, and we'll pick up the camera and you'll see it's no contest. Obviously, the 18M's mold board is 6 foot shorter, width-wise. But anyways, and also it does roll quite well. And with the turning, you can achieve a pretty good turning radius. This model is very long, I will say that. I don't have a measuring tape with me to actually show how long it is. But it does take up some room. It's a very nice model. Out of 10, I would give it a solid, for the time period as well. Remember that we're talking early 2000s here. I'd say a good 8 out of 10. I mean, there are some things I wish were improved, especially these tires. I mean, that's just like one of those personal gripes that I have, that the tires kind of look Lego-y, if you know what I mean, something that Lego would produce. I just don't like the treads, but again, that's a personal thing, not really, anything major, but the fine details are good, and for the era that this was produced in, the hydraulic lines look fantastic. It's a good model, especially with the opening doors as well. The cab is plastic, by the way, and I felt it like come loose there for a second, but it's a nice big model. It does go for about what, something like 60 or 70 bucks, I think. So yeah, I mean, it's an older piece, but if you can get it on sale for a reasonable price, I mean, I would. It's a good model, and yeah, I'd say 8 out of 10 solidly for it. So anyways, guys, that's really it. Thanks for watching, and peace out.